Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us for today's webinar on AI in Action, Transforming Finance and Marketing Functions. I am Srishti and I'll be your host for this session. This webinar is being brought to you in collaboration with TSIBA and AI CERTs, and we are delighted to have such an engaged audience with us today. I'll quickly pass on the stage to Jean to introduce us to TSIBA, and then we'll quickly move forward with the event. Jean, please.
Thank you so much, and it is wonderful to be here today. I am from TSIBA. It is originally an acronym in one of our indigenous languages in South Africa. It means to jump. It previously was the tertiary school in business administration. So at TSIBA, we recognize that, or shall I say, at TSIBA, we first of all want to just thank you, AI CERTs, for hosting this vital conversation on artificial intelligence in action. My name is Jean, and I represent TSIBA, and our core purpose is simple but powerful. We are dedicated to empowering people to lead the world that is being fundamentally reshaped by technology, and our focus is on developing the human talent that can harness the power of tools like AI. So who are we? For the past 2 decades, TSIBA has operated as a unique social enterprise built on a mission to provide access to high quality, future-focused education for all ambitious South Africans. We believe that true readiness goes beyond just technical skills. It's about fostering the right leaders who can make a real world impact, fostering leadership, attitude, and an entrepreneurial spirit. So our goal is then to graduate exceptional leaders. We achieve this by offering a full spectrum of qualifications, providing a complete educational pathway from foundational to specialized vocational and occupational qualifications. To empower the workforce of tomorrow, we offer qualifications for individuals, like, for instance, our new diploma in ICT, alongside with our other offerings like the higher certificate in business administration, bachelor in business administration. And then we also have a range of occupational certificates. One in particular is the occupational certificate in data science practitioner, and it provides practical hands-on skills design to solve real business problems. For businesses, we partner directly to empower a business's entire ecosystem. We strengthen the talent pipeline through customized learnerships. We also help companies to meet their triple BEE scorecard goals. Furthermore, we have impactful enterprise and supplier development programs that helps build resilience in emerging businesses as well as businesses who are ready to scale, so that companies can begin to move these enterprises into their supply chain. Now at TSIBA, we recognize that while generative AI and large language models are the ones getting the headlines, when we talk about AI, the first thing that will come to mind is ChatGPT or Gemini or any one of those large language models. A lot of the conversations around that is, doesn't that make people lazy? Doesn't it make people cheat in tertiary education or in education in general? And I think that's a very narrow view of AI in general, because, of course, generative AI and large language models are just a small part of all sorts of things that one can do with machine learning and AI. Today, we're going to hear a little bit about marketing and finance. For instance, one can use predictive analytics to hyper-personalize customer journeys in marketing, or leverage machine learning in real-time fraud detection in finance. Certainly one of our large clients works in the finance sector and works very hard at making sure that fraud doesn't happen within their business. They have a large department just dealing with that. It is so in terms of the broad scope of AI, access to world-class global certifications, we believe this to be essential. And so we are proud that we have partnered with AI CERTs as a delivery partner here in South Africa. It's a strategic move to bring the absolute best in comprehensive AI certification directly to our learners, our partners, and the larger South African community. This partnership allows us to embed AI CERT's renowned curriculum into programs like the AI CERT's Foundation Certificate, which was on offer for today. Access for you to audit this, or not even audit, you will do this foundation certificate and receive certification once you've completed it, absolutely free. Thank you to AI CERTs for that. The benefit of these kinds of programs is, and we extend them not only to our students and learnership participants, but also our corporate clients. And our goal is to bring this global best in class AI education right here to develop local talent, ensuring that here in South Africa, as a developing country, we are equipped with skills that are relevant and recognized anywhere in the world. TSIBA offers a truly holistic approach to skills development, supporting the entire ecosystem from the individual student to large corporates and to their supply chain. This powerful new partnership with AI CERTs enhances and accelerates this commitment, and we are here to develop the human talent that will power the future of business. And so I thank you for today, and thank you for joining us today. And I would invite you to connect with us to learn more as well in terms of these offerings. I hand back to the host.
Thank you. Thank you so much, John. It was really helpful for people to actually know who we are and what we do. Thank you so much. So before we start, there's just a few quick notes. This session is being recorded, and the recording will be shared with all of you after the event. Also, please feel free to post your questions in the chat box at any point of time. We have our team sitting in the panelist, and they'll be happy to help you answer all your queries. So let's just quickly start. Artificial intelligence is no longer a buzzword. It's a business imperative. In finance, AI is helping organizations with smarter risk assessment, fraud detection, predictive analytics, and automated reporting. Whereas in marketing, it is redefining customer segmentation, personalization, campaign optimization, and ROI tracking. Today, we'll explore how AI is reshaping decision making in these two critical functions, finance and marketing, bringing new levels of efficiency, accuracy, and strategic insights. It's my absolute pleasure to introduce our distinguished speaker, Dr. Chetna Asbe. Dr. Asbe is an associate professor of finance at Atlas Skilltech University, Mumbai, with over 18 years of combined experience in academia, research, and industry. She has conducted executive training for leading institutions both in India and internationally, bringing a unique blend of academic depth and practical insights. Her expertise spans finance, accounting, sustainability, and risk management, and her research has been published in reputed journals. In recognition of her contributions, she was awarded India's Best Finance Faculty in 2021. Beyond academia, Dr. Chetna is a seasoned conference speaker, panel moderator, and PhD guide, widely respected for her ability to make complex financial and business topics both engaging and actionable. We are honored to have her with us today in collaboration with TSIBA to share her perspective on how AI is transforming finance and marketing functions. Dr. Aspe, over to you.
Thank you so much for that warm welcome. And hello, everyone. So before we begin with the session, I would like to ask you all, where have we experienced AI in our daily lives? So if you can quickly put it in the chat box. And there's also a poll here reading, what's your first reaction to AI in your field? Are you generally excited about the opportunities? Are you concerned about risk? Are you curious but cautious? Or not yet sure? Yes. Okay. So a lot of us are excited for the opportunities. Some of us are curious but cautious. True. Very few are concerned about the risk, and very few are not sure. Okay, that's great. So because we are all excited about the opportunities that AI brings to us, let us try to understand how AI is particularly changing the finance and marketing domain. So like I had asked earlier in the chat box, if you can quickly mention, where do you experience AI on a daily life basis? So have you experienced AI today? Any browser search? Okay, on my phone, right? School research projects, true, okay. Phone calls, right? Internet, correct. Google search. Right, so somebody's given here a list. ChatGPT, Gemini, copywriting suggestions for social and research, email writing, very true. Perfect, right? So yes, Copilot, perfect. So we see here that, there's a long list of where we can see AI and use AI in our daily lives. And you're all correct with those answers. So today we'll, like I mentioned, particularly try to focus on finance and marketing and try to see what are the changes that AI is bringing about in these two major domains of any organization. So we'll first start with exploring how AI is redefining various functions at various levels in these domains. And we'll also then try to understand how we as professionals or how we as budding professionals can adapt to AI and be a part of these changes. So this is going to be the flow of our webinar today. We will first try to understand the various certifications that AI CERTs offers, because these certifications will definitely help us upskill. And then we look at how AI is changing in finance domain, how AI is helping the marketing domain, and most important, we will wrap up with the ethics which are needed in using AI. So that's very important. When we are using AI, we have to be very careful and we have to be very compliant of certain regulations that need to be followed when we are using AI. So about AI CERTs, some part has been explained by my colleagues here. AI CERTs has a very interesting mission, and that mission is to bridge the gap. So a lot of times we do experience that whatever certifications we do don't really end up in the desired jobs or the desired options in the corporate world. So here, what they are trying to do is to bridge that gap between the skills needed from professionals and the real world applications of these skills in the industry. So that's a very important mission that AI CERTs is following. We look at certain programs today. We look at what AI plus finance and AI plus marketing has to offer. So because these are two main domains, we will try to focus on these today. And most importantly, these certifications have a global reach. They are recognized worldwide. And therefore, in whichever part of the world you are, if you take up these certifications, it will be very, very beneficial. So these are certain certifications. I have myself completed the AI Plus Finance certification, and it did cover the fraud detection, the algorithmic trading, the risk modeling, predictive analytics, and AI-powered investment strategies. So these are certain main areas in finance where AI is seeping in, and therefore studying these and understanding how it is changing or how accuracy is coming in with the use of AI in these areas is very important. AI plus marketing focuses on AI in personalization, campaign automation, the search engine optimization, content generation, and customer journey mapping. So this is AI in marketing is like a small marketing team working for you, and it helps businesses and organizations reach to their audience better. These courses provide hands-on learning where real-world examples cases are used. There are quizzes to test your knowledge at appropriate levels after modules. And also at the end of the module, after the end of the course, you will have a certain quiz that you have to pass in order to get the certificate. So that's how it is very authentic, and that's how the value that they have created worldwide lies, because there are quizzes that test you. So let us begin with understanding where AI has been making changes in the finance domain. So we look at finance generally brings about a thought of a lot of data, a lot of numbers. So yes, AI does use this data, these numbers, and it creates certain algorithms. It tries to automate a lot of things where decision making then can be quick and easy. So the first point here is from manual to machine. So can we in the chat box quickly mention that what were the issues in the traditional method of finance? So what was the problem that we were facing in the traditional method of finance? If we can just quickly, so where was the problem in, say, decision making, in the data, any area that you can think of that without AI, what were the problems that we were facing? Anything that comes to your mind as a customer or in the organization, working professional? Perfect. So here we have fraud, breach of information. That's absolutely correct. Anything else? Fraud detection, accuracy, correct? Yes. So accuracy was a problem in the traditional method. That's perfect. Data capture took a long time. Yes. So we could also analyze a limited amount of data. And it also did take us a lot of time to even analyze that limited amount of data, right? Human error, perfect. Complicated reporting, poor data visualization, all of these problems are absolutely correct. Yes. Handling large volume of data. So reporting or financial reporting also did take time in olden days. And poor references, that's right. Yes, so all of these answers are correct. So reporting took time, right? There was a possibility that it's not accurate. There could be human error. We could analyze limited amount of data, and therefore our prediction was based on that limited amount of data. Also, because everything was slow, because everything was manual, it took time for decision making. So here we see that machine has changed all of this. You all have captured it absolutely correct and perfectly, where you all say that it's very accurate now, it's very fast now, right? And we see an entire shift in decision making, which is on real-time basis. So that is the magic of using machine or AI. We have gotten over a lot of manual drawbacks that we had. AI technologies, robo-advisory. Yes, so somebody in the chat box is asking about robo-advisory. So this is where we as customers are suggested certain investments or certain products based on our spending pattern, based on our past investments, or based on the loans that we are taking, right? So the information that AI has about us as customers or as consumers, basis that we are suggested certain investments. So robo-advisory is, they a lot of times AI, the information that they have, they know our age group, right? They know the kind of requirements that we may have at that age group. And therefore, it is an automated advisory that comes to us. So they are suggesting certain investment products to us. So that is a point, and we'll come to it in a while. Right. So AI technologies here, we use technologies like deep learning, machine learning, data analytics. Now, all of these methods, they train the data and they use it for the future, right? So they help us make models, they help us forecast, but what is crucial here is the right data. So all these technologies like machine learning, deep learning, data analytics, they will all work on data, and therefore the data quality is very important. AI is not a future concept, right? It's here now, right now, embedded in a lot of things. Like you all very rightly mentioned, you see it on your phone all the time. You use it for your projects, right? Google Maps, all of these are AI driven. So it's not something that we are going to see. It's already here, embedded in a lot of areas, like particularly in finance for fraud detection, right? For robo-advisory, that is what we discussed a while ago, and for personalized banking services. So these are those areas that we see. Now, fraud detection, what are the types of fraud that we can think of? We understand a lot of frauds happen, but what are the types of fraud that we can think of? I sincerely hope we've not come across any. But I'm sure we hear about a lot of these. Yes, identity, that's absolutely correct. Bank account hacking, perfect. Internet fraud, yes. Phishing, that's right. Yes. So that's correct. There is identity fraud, right? There is insider trading. There is payment fraud, insurance fraud, correct? Investment scams, yes, where they tell you that they will double your money in a very short period and whoop, the money's become zero. Yes, these are the different types of fraud that we understand. And yes, and manually also, we were trying to detect frauds and we were trying to capture them and control them. However, a lot of times the fraud would occur, post which we would try to investigate that and therefore take actions for the future. But there, one fraud has already occurred and could be at a very large scale. Now, what happens with AI is that AI typically reads patterns. And the moment it identifies that something is out of pattern, right, it will flag it immediately. So that is why it helps on a real-time basis by understanding that there is something fishy here. And therefore, we can either stop the fraud entirely, or we can at least minimize the impact of the fraud. So that way, AI has been very helpful. It helps us detect certain calls which are spam calls, right? And therefore, we can avoid all these investment frauds, right? So that's how AI helps us in fraud detection. Robo-advisory, like we discussed a while ago, that based on what are our needs, what is our age group, what is the kind of spending that we are doing, these are automated suggestions for the customers, for the investors to make certain investments. So they would help us understand whether you need to move towards debt, right? You need to move towards equity, or you can have mutual funds as your investment. So these are the different kinds of advices that we can get from these robo advisors, and they are automated. So here goes off the need of a human being trying to analyze that what is the customer base, what is their age group, and therefore what are the products I can suggest to them. So these are all automated. Algorithmic trading, very interesting. So here, once you understand that this is going to be the future market trend, what you can do is you can program the instructions. So the moment a particular condition is met, the trade is executed on its own. So this way, there is no delay in a particular human instructing another human and then executing the order. So here what happens is that once that condition is met, which was pre-programmed, so that instruction was pre-programmed, and the moment that condition is met, the trade is executed, right? It's placed and executed. So that way, there is no time delay. And this, of course, maximizes our profits in trading. Financial forecasting. So financial forecasting, we also do that. We do that on a manual, in a manual way. We do it on our own. But what's better here is that you can blend it with AI. So this really helps you understand a large amount of historical data, basis which you are trying to predict the future. So here, your decision making is more accurate, right? Because it is based on more data. So that way, you can be quick in your decision making and you can be accurate in your decision making. So budgeting, financial planning, financial forecasting, these are very typical areas where you can use AI. So any questions at any point, please feel free to ask. You can always put your questions in the chat box and we'll be happy to answer them. Next, we see here from gut feeling to algorithmic accuracy, right? A lot of times we have certain feeling that, okay, a particular stock may increase in price, okay? A lot of times our emotions are playing in, that we don't want to sell a particular stock because we feel that we shouldn't sell it, right? We feel that in future, maybe we will make a profit on it. So when it's manual, when it's a human taking decisions, we can't really avoid emotions playing in. However, when it's AI doing the work, the emotions are not inculcated there. What AI does is that it takes certain data and it takes certain instructions and goes ahead and executes the orders, right? So here you will not have any emotion playing in any role in any kind of decision making that you are doing. So for a lot of banks and financial institutions, it's very important for them to understand how the borrower is, right? And therefore, they may gather some structured and unstructured data that will help their decisions. Now, what do we understand by structured and unstructured? Now, structured data, we all do understand. These are numbers. This will be the past history of that borrower, right? Taking certain loans. Okay, what is the age group? What are the dependent family members? So all of this is structured data. However, AI will help you gather unstructured data and also analyze it. What is the social media presence of this borrower, right? How is this borrower connected socially? How is the resilience of this borrower? Okay. And unstructured data like news events, global events, what is the sentiment of the other investors on the social media? All of this is captured by AI. So this, I would say, is quite humanly difficult to capture and analyze the unstructured data. We were trained and we were doing quite well on analyzing the structured data. However, to analyze unstructured data, AI, I suppose, can do it lots better than human beings. Like we discussed earlier, certain tools like machine learning, deep learning, and data analytics, these are the tools that you can use to make models and to forecast certain things in the future. This can be anything. This can be repayment of the borrower. These can be the stock prices. These can be the cash flows generated by a company. So all of these predictions can be made. Customer personalization. Now, this is something that we come across very often, right? We see that, we experience that certain kind of products are being suggested to us basis what we have done in the past and basis how we are spending, or what are the transactions that we are making in the present. So here you can tailor certain financial products for your customers, right? You can blend certain products for your customer. You can make a beautiful basket for your customer of these products, and you will, you can deliver it to your customers. In trading, we do experience that when we are doing it on an individual basis, we tend to make certain losses, right? But if there is an algorithm that's working for you, there is very less chance that you will end up making a loss. A lot of times the profits are huge, right? Because there was no delay in executing that trade, and the trade was executed accurately. So what we see here is that the lesser the human intervention in this trading, the better it is. There are different options, there are different securities. So your algorithm can use these different options and securities and create a program for you that can be executed just when you want. Risk assessment, yes. I mean, any portfolio will carry a particular amount of risk when you are diversifying across companies, when you are diversifying across sectors, these companies, how creditworthy they are, all of that is analyzed by AI. So, like I said earlier, we as humans also do this. We do financial analysis, we do technical analysis to understand companies and stocks. However, supporting it with AI will level you up. Regulatory compliance is very important, particularly for financial institutions or banks, where they have to maintain a certain capital adequacy ratio. Now, what happens is if that is breached, then they could get into serious trouble. So a lot of banks, they have a trigger or a flag in the form of AI, that when their ratios are dipping or dropping, that fact will be flagged by the AI that they are using, right? So what happens here is that before they end up breaching the ratio or breaching the covenant, right, they are informed about it and they can take corrective actions. So where we are talking about compliance, like I mentioned, it's very important for banks and financial institutions. They are always under strict scrutiny of the central banks. And therefore, for them to maintain these ratios at adequate levels is very, very important. Fraud and threat detection, we have kind of discussed this in the earlier slides. And yes, I mean, it's very helpful for insurance companies. It's very helpful for banks, very helpful for trading companies, that there is no insider trading, there is broking companies. So it stops all these insider tradings, any kind of fraud that they may come across. So do we know of banks that follow customer personalization or 24/7 AI chatbots? Can you all name some banks that use predictive insights, fraud monitoring? These can be banks, these can be fintechs, if you all can just name a few. NetBank, that's absolutely correct. Yes, so banks are already using AI. So like NetBank does, FNB does, there's Standard Bank, right? So in India also, we have a lot of banks like HDFC, a lot of fintech companies, because they are also involved in the payments and frauds are very frequent there. So they also use a lot of AI. So for fraud detection, Standard Bank has Stan as their chatbot, which is available for the customers 24/7 to answer whatever queries they have. Discovery Bank, that's correct. Yes, perfect. So all these banks, yes, are already using AI. And a lot of times they just seep into our life and we are unaware. But yes, all of this is a result or product of AI. Fraud monitoring, so whenever there is any behavioral pattern that does not match the past, so that again is flagged. So all of this is as a result of AI. Now let's move on to marketing, right? So finance, yes, is a very important aspect of any organization. But the organization may not do well enough if they don't market themselves well enough, right? So marketing, AI in marketing is very helpful for big organizations as well as small organizations, right? So rather, I would say that they are very, very important for smaller organizations. SMEs can use, marketing, AI in marketing, they can use AI in their marketing functions very efficiently, and they can, because for them the major problem is payments, right? I mean, they will not have enough cash inflows in the beginning to make their cash outflows or make payments, and therefore a lot of people, employees or teams can be replaced by AI. So let us try to understand. A lot of us would be on social media, right? We are somewhere connected on social media. So where do we experience AI on social media, and how, in what form? So are they like suggesting certain products to you, or in what form do you come across AI on social media? Yes. Yes, please. So is it a particular content that you see frequently? So product offers and services, videos, right? Written content, searching for products, right? Certain kind of music or certain kind of movies that we enjoy, right? Pictures and images, perfect, right? Certain kind of jokes that we enjoy, right? Yes, in WhatsApp, that's so true. There's WhatsApp Business that helps you do that and automate replies, perfect. Yes, predictive advertising, that's right. Yes, fake news is something that we need to keep away from. Yes. So AI is also used to develop fake news. That's correct. But towards the end of the session, we'll come to ethics in AI, and that's where we'll see that how we must not get into such activities. So yes, what we see here on the screen is smarter campaigns, right? So what kind of campaign is going to help a particular company? What can be the channel through which they are running that campaign? So that will depend on the major audience that this organization has. Okay, so that suggestion is given by AI. Okay, they can check the history of the company in the past, how they have marketed their product or service, what is the kind of response that they have received on the previous marketing, and basis which AI can suggest to the organization which kind of campaign will be perfect for them. Personalization at scale. So there's a term that says micro audience, right? So earlier, when in my generation, when we were learning about marketing, we would understand segmentation, right? So this is the niche kind, or this is the kind of target audience you should have. Now it has moved down to micro audience, right? Where they are catering to almost each and every individual on a personal basis. So if you see the feed in my social media, it would be very different from the feed that my friend gets, right? And why is that? Because I enjoy certain different kind of content. I have different likes and dislikes as compared to my friend. And therefore, AI is making it possible to customize the content that you are viewing at micro level, right? At personal level. So here there's a question. So basically, AI has started financing and marketing. Yes, AI has absolutely started financing and marketing. A lot of loans are also just auto-generated through AI. And marketing, yes, we'll just look at it in a while here. Real-time insights. Now, what this means is any global event that has happened, okay, anything that's trending. So it will help the organization adapt to that on a real time. Okay, so that's one part of it. Two is when you come out with any kind of campaign, with any kind of advertisement, what is the feedback that you are getting on it, right? So is that really helping you generate sales? Is that giving you any leads? So that is the kind of feedback that you get through AI, through using AI, right? Because otherwise then we would have to wait for the data to come. We would sit and analyze that data, and it would take a lot of time. So we can't take any corrective action if so much of time has already gone by. So AI helps in giving us feedback on our decisions immediately, and therefore we can take corrective actions. So yes, we see the use of AI in content strategy and search engine optimization in the following ways. So the content can be auto-created. So this is again something that humans were needed for in the past, but now it can be auto-created. So depending on what is the product or service, what is the audience that you are looking at, if you feed in all this information to AI, AI will help you create the content. But we need to be careful here that human creativity cannot be sacrificed. So it has to be a human creativity accompanied by AI, right? Because otherwise then a lot of content will appear similar, same, if we just leave it only to AI. So it's best that, we can use human creativity along with AI. It will also tell you certain kind of keywords, because it's very important for companies to appear in the first few searches. We know when we are surfing, we don't really go to the end of the search, or we don't really go to the next page, right? So it's very important for any company that's trying to sell that they have to appear in the first few searches. So for that, what are the keywords that they have to use? right? All of that is very important. And this help can very well be given by AI because it has the capacity to read what are the buzzwords these days, like using sustainability, right? So all of this will attract attention towards the organization. So depending on the buzzwords, depending on what's mentioned here, like what is the competitor's content, right? AI can suggest you certain keywords that will help you come up in the search. Performance forecasting here. So performance forecasting will indicate that where machine learning is helping you convert better, right? So you can see what kind of advertising you have done in the past, and basis which what was the reaction or response that you got at that time, what was the conversion or the sales that you got at that time. Now we don't always use a particular channel for advertising, we use different channels, right? So how to use the channel that has got us maximum ROI or maximum benefit, right? So we'll just look at it in a while. Return on investment, trying to understand the return on investment is very important in marketing. So though it being a finance term, it's very, very important in marketing. So what we see here is that campaigns like, there was this McKinsey report in 2024, which said that companies are able to cut down their campaign costs by about 20 to 30%. Now, this is a huge expense for any company, marketing or campaigning, right? And if that is reduced by 20 to 30%, then that has an immense impact on their profitability, right? So their profitability will see a huge increase only by this fact. So how can you use AI to reduce your campaign cost? And whatever you are spending, how do you get the best return from that, right? So that's where you can use AI. So like we discussed earlier, audience segmentation was a particular concept that we had learned, in our days, but now it is micro audience. You are catering to each individual almost on a personal basis. And therefore, it's possible for companies, for organizations, or for even small businesses to reach out to customers and to cater to their needs on a personal basis. Predictive campaigns. So what kind of campaign is going to do well, right? That can be suggested by AI. So here you will see that you are getting the highest conversion. That is, you are getting a lot of sales through this campaign, but your costs are minimum, right? So with least cost, how can you get maximum benefit out of a particular campaign that can be predicted by AI? Now, like we discussed a while ago, there are various channels through which we advertise or we run our campaign through, right? Can be email, can be web pages, can be social media, can be through WhatsApp, right? Now, which channel is giving you maximum return? So I'm not sure, but a lot of times when we are filling some feedback form, the question there always is, where did you hear about us, right? So we try to put in an answer that, okay, a friend or through Google search, right? So these are the different options that we see there. So that helps the company understand that where are they, from which channel are they getting maximum returns, right? And once this data is fed into AI, AI will help you for the future. So AI chatbots, yes, I mean, we are quite familiar with it, where we come across when we are booking anything, when we are asking any question, when we are seeking a refund, right? So a lot of times, all of this now is handled by chatbots. It's only when you are not really satisfied that it's transferred to a human. Okay, so until that time and till a very long time, it is the chatbot that is able to deal with your queries. Natural language processing. Now, what happens here is these programs are trained to understand the sentiments, right? So if a customer is appearing angry, have we come across that the bot will immediately say that I am sorry for this experience. I'm very sorry that you had to go through it, right? So what are you doing there is you are first calming the customer. A lot of times where there is human intervention, right, there are two emotions which are playing on both the sides, right? So it can be an angry customer, okay, and it can be an upset customer care person, right, who's also not had a good day. So there can be conflicts. But with a chat, because they are trained to read the sentiments, to read the context in which you are speaking, they will provide you with appropriate guidelines or steps to be taken ahead, right? And they'll try to solve your problem. So here, the human intervention is reduced. And the most important thing is that this can be done 24/7, right? Because a bot need not sleep. And therefore, this can run through entire day throughout the week. Okay. Omni-channel presence is what, again, we discussed a while ago, that these bots don't only operate on a particular type of channel. Suppose the bot, you can use the bot only through mobile phones. No, that is not the case, right? So as a lot of times these days, as you log on to any website, there is a bot that appears on the right-hand side, typically saying, hi, can I help you, right? So these bots are omnipresent. You can use them on multiple channels like web page, phones, through WhatsApp, right? E-shopping sites uses customer service AI. That's perfect. That's absolutely correct, right? Where they help you with what may look good on you. So it goes to that extent that you can try and they will suggest what size will fit you better, what will look good on you, are you buying for this particular customer, and therefore the suggestions will change based on that. So all of this is now possible using AI. So Amazon and Netflix, we all understand these two huge companies. I'm sure we must have studied these, right? So here they have their recommendation engines where they suggest to the customer what can be their next purchase or what will go well with the product that they have already bought, right? So if you have, say, recently purchased a television, they may suggest that you buy a data card for it that will help you run different OTT channels, right? So depending on what you've already bought, what have been your past purchases, they may suggest certain future purchases, or they may also ask you at the same time to bundle it with your purchases. Okay. So for Amazon, about 35% of their purchases are these recommended purchases. So which is a huge number, right? So the purchases that their customers make, 35% of those come from what they are recommending to the customer. Personalized user experience. So we definitely come across this, and Netflix, they have been able to contain, to reduce their losses to the extent of $1 billion by not letting their customers go to another OTT. So that's known as churn reduction. So the churning has been reduced there, right? Where the customers are not leaving them and going to other OTT channels, right? So here, what they do is, depending on what you have seen in the past, they also have an option where you show a like, right? That you like this content, or you like this content a lot, or you don't like this content, okay? Basis which they will suggest future watches for you, right? So what you're viewing, basis that they will keep on suggesting certain series or movies for you, or documentary films. So that is very important, right? You feel that they are just catering to you. You don't feel that they are marketing what they have. Rather, you feel that they are marketing what you want. Okay. So that personal touch that they give to it, you can have your own login, right, separate from the other family members who are sharing the account. And all of this gives a lot of personal experience to the users or the viewers, and therefore they have been able to reduce their losses by $1 billion. Predictive engagement is where they try to suggest future watch to us, that because you have liked this, you may also like this, right? And a lot of times, yes, I mean, we do end up selecting something out of that. The last part, like we discussed, but the most important part is the ethical use of AI in business functions, right? So here we need to understand that there is absolute transparency. Okay, that is the most important thing, and there is accountability. So these two are most important things when organizations are using data and feeding them into AI to better their prospects, right? So they have to keep in mind that they are being transparent to their customers or consumers. They have to maintain privacy. They cannot go around sharing private data. They can use it as anonymous by at least not giving out names or personal information. And they have to be accountable, because there are a lot of regulations also which govern companies, and they keep a check on the policies that companies have as far as AI is concerned. Okay, so absolute fairness has to be maintained, data privacy. We know of, I don't want to mention certain companies on this platform, but we know of certain companies who have got into trouble because of data privacy, right? And therefore, companies must be transparent, and their board of directors are also responsible for this, and there has to be proper governance that's coming along. So I'm sure that, we kind of understand where AI is used in finance and marketing. And I'm sure we can relate to where we can add into this through, getting proper certifications and then giving back to organizations and helping them move on to the next level. So we understand that operational efficiency is increased. We understand that personalization is better, and risk management and compliance can be taken care of. And it definitely gives these companies like Amazon and Netflix certain competitive advantage over their competitors, over their peers. So here are some contact details. Do check out the certifications, which is AI plus finance and AI plus marketing. And we also welcome certain questions that you all may have. We'll be happy to answer them.
Thank you so much, Chaitra, for this wonderful event.
And thanks to the audience for being so participative and contributing to the session.
Yes, so you have provided us with so many incredible insights, and because we are left with a very short span of time, we'll just quickly go through the questions that we already have in our chat box. I think the first question that we have here is, how do you see AI changing the role of finance professionals over the next 5 years?
Okay, so be it finance professionals or marketing professionals, I would like to bring out something, that anything that's repetitive or routine, right? What we say cognitive task, right? So that can be very easily be replaced by AI. So here, what we have to do is we have to learn AI in order to be able to apply AI for these repetitive tasks, and we have to level up ourselves, right? Where we can help in various, whatever, we saw, like analyzing risk, preventing fraud, right? These are various areas. But what we need to make sure is that we first have to level ourselves up. We have to understand that routine tasks can be taken up by AI. We have to add to the creative part of organizations.
Absolutely. I think the next question that we have here is, in marketing, how can AI balance personalization with data privacy concerns?
Okay, right. So this we did discuss a while ago when we were discussing the ethical part of using AI. So transparency and accountability are like most important. Okay, so there are data privacy regulations, general data privacy regulations in place, which companies must follow, right? And breaching any privacy will give you short-term benefits, will give short-term benefits to any company, but they'll not be able to sustain in the long term. And therefore, they have to be careful with their AI policies.
Right. The next question, can small and medium enterprises also leverage AI effectively, or is it mainly for large corporations?
So large corporations do use AI, but like I mentioned a while ago, it's a boon for small companies where they can, because they don't have that kind of funds, they can replace teams by AI, right? So AI can be their marketing team. They need, instead of 5, they'll possibly need 2 or 1 person to run their marketing campaign if they are using AI. So for small and medium-sized enterprises, AI is a boon. Accounting is something that can be taken care of through AI. So a lot of finance as well as marketing functions, can be taken care through AI.
Right, right. Chetna, I think, yes, with this, we come to an end of our Q&A as well. So on behalf of AI CERTs and our partners at TSIBA, I'd like to thank you very, very much for your valuable insights on how AI is transforming finance and marketing functions. And a big thank you also goes out to all of you for being such an engaging audience. We'll be sending you the session recording and key takeaways shortly. Do stay connected with AI CERTs and TSIB on LinkedIn and other social media platforms for updates on our upcoming events. Thank you once again for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing every one of you in our next event. Thank you, Chetna. Thank you once again for being such an incredible speaker for this event. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day ahead, guys.